I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Hey, jerk on the right. What are you doing? Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. It's Thursday, right? It's Thursday. Yes. Happy Thursday to everybody. I got to make sure I'm closed out of everything. I don't think that I am. Yes, I am. Okay, good. All right. Coming up on today's show, Kamala CNN Townhall, you guys. Disaster. Total disaster.
I hope people did watch it and just waited for our show.
Oh, my God. It was so bad in every way. The latest on all the Democrat smears against Trump. Even Mark Cuban is bored by Doug Emhoff, as we all are. And KJP tries and fails to explain away Biden's lock him up comment. All that and so much more. You can check us out on all of our socials, and please click subscribe to this podcast. If you haven't done that already, please do that. Just click the subscribe button. chicksontheright.com/links is where you can find all the things, all of them. Also, visit ReadyWise.com and use promo code Chicks20 at checkout for 20% off your entire purchase, which is a really good deal because you and Danger Girl, and they have great stuff. ReadyWise.com. Use promo code Chicks20. Do it.
I'm still eating the soup.
She made so much of it. I love it. You guys, they have really good fruit buckets. That's like my favorite thing, you know? If you always think about
buckets, if you're like super healthy.
Right. I love their stuff. So go check it out. Definitely.
How is everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Mock voted yesterday.
For asking. I did vote yesterday. That was, I don't know what to make of it, you guys. It was a huge line. Great. People very engaged, obviously, but it was a very sus looking line of people.
A lot of liberals.
Yeah. Lots of masks, lots of weird hair colors.
Right.
Lots of Karen-y looking awfuls.
Yeah.
As they say. So I don't feel good about it. I'll just say that. And we had our dogs with us because we had showings all day yesterday, and people didn't like that. Like, there were people annoyed by my labs who are the most well-behaved. Are you serious? You're going to be annoyed by that? How? Like how?
What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
And they're so sweet, and they were so quiet and good, and they weren't bothering people, and like people were still like annoyed. If you're annoyed by dogs just being in existence,
I don't understand that. Now, I had the exact opposite experience. It was mostly because I live where I live. I mean, I'm surrounded by, I'm a redneck. I'm a total redneck. So I'm surrounded. And I'm surrounded by a lot of country people and, and Texans, basically. There's a lot of real Texans still where I live. Like, that's where the real Texans live. So I had the opposite. Masks? You saw masks?
What
the hell are people masks? Did you guys see that?
This was in the line outside.
Yeah. What are you guys seeing? Tell me what you're seeing in your lines. Cause I could not hide my facial judgment if I saw somebody outside in a mask right now. Like, what is wrong with you? I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I know people, like, according to all the stats, like, it sounds like Republicans are leading in the early voting, which is great. There's so much I don't understand about how this is all working, because you hear, oh my gosh, Republicans have this huge lead in all these swing states when it comes to the early voting. But then you also hear in those same swing states that they can't count the early votes until after the election is over. And so I don't understand what we know when we know it. None of it makes any sense to me. There's no consistency from state to state. And I don't understand why we just don't have a simple ID related process for this that is common across all the states.
Consistent. We need consistency. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense to me either. It's weird how, like we were talking, you went in and you had like the computer ballots, I went in, mine were like there were old school paper ballots where you filled in the bubbles like the SAT test in 1989. You know what I mean? And I'm good with that. I like the paper ballot. I like it. And then I fed my paper ballot into a machine, and there was a person like a proctor who watched while I did that to make sure that the ballot was fed properly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay. I like that. I think that that's, I don't, it took a little longer because I was really meticulous about filling in every single one of my bubbles.
And like not going outside the lines.
Right.
Do they give you the number 2 pencils there? Like, do they, or how did that work?
I actually used a pen. I used a
really?
pen. Yeah. You can use pens for that. But yeah, I was so anal retentive about that. I was like, oh my God, I got to fill in my circle just right. And I did. And then I was, I was very meticulous. And I'm sure that's what took time for a lot of people, which is why that's partially why the line was so long.
Yeah.
Still, it was worth it. I liked it. I like paper ballots. I wish everybody would do that.
I just wish that we were normal again. The way that elections used to be, when there was never any question and everything was normal and counted, and you knew that night, and it wasn't crazy.
Yeah. Make America normal again.
Yeah. Manna. Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. You guys pretty excited this morning because we have a new sponsor to tell you about. And this one is specifically about sunscreen from OneSkin. And so if you've never heard of OneSkin, I'm going to read you some stuff about their science, because I'm not a science person, although I do come from a bloodline of scientists.
You do. I know.
I did not get that gene for some reason. But this is a company that they have their own R&D platform. And yeah, it's amazing stuff. They were able to measure the efficacy of age reversal molecules in their lab. So this sunscreen, everybody needs sunscreen. If you're not wearing sunscreen on the daily, even if you're not outside all the time, like anytime you're faced with the elements, you should be protected. And what I especially love about this is that there's tint to it, because I don't wear foundation, and I don't like foundation, but I know how important sunscreen is to wear on your face. And this has just the slightest tint to it, which makes me feel kind of like I'm getting some coverage.
Fancy. She feels fancy.
I do. Kind of fancy. And the thing about this stuff is that they use OS01 peptides. And so this revolutionary peptide, as they studied in their lab, they found that peptide reverses the skin's biological age by reducing the number of senescent, those are the aging cells. I'm not sure how to say it. Senescent, I think, cells by up to 50%. So in 87% of users, they saw wrinkles diminished. That's a huge number.
And so now I just want to answer a question. Yes, it is mineral sunscreen. It is mineral.
Yes. And so this is, I mean, it's science that I will never understand, but the technology is such that I feel like I'm protected. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of coverage, which is nice. And I'm doing the right thing for my skin by wearing sunscreen. And of course, they have it for your whole body as well. I tested that out and just put some on my hands today, and they feel still so soft, which I'm a huge fan of soft hands. So naturally, you can read all about their technology on their website at oneskin.co, not com, but co, oneskin.co. And when you use code CHICKS at checkout, of course, you're going to get a discount, 15% off of any product that you get at OneSkin with code CHICKS at oneskin.co. Check them out. I think you're going to like them. Thank you to Pam Johnson, who says, FYI, to answer a question from yesterday, closed caption is on YouTube after your show later in the day. Click on CC.
Yes.
I hope that helps somebody. Lisa X. Lean, thank you very much. And Kim Donaldson says, check your ballot after you print it out. Why can we not vote using our fingerprint? I don't know that I want my fingerprint registered with like the government.
It already kind of, I mean, but you already have a lot of stuff registered. I actually would be okay with that. I think that would be awesome if we did that. And then it would keep illegals from voting too. I think that would be I think it's a great idea. They already have so much of my information. What do I give a crap? You know?
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I mean, I need to think on that some more. I'm not sure how I feel about a fingerprint, but I definitely want ID. You know, I mean, this is like a bare minimum thing.
Right.
For crying out loud. We also got some Venmos from yesterday. Stephanie Martin said, have a wonderful week, which is very, very sweet.
Thank
Stephanie.
you.
Thank you so much. Christina Palmer said, oh my God, I cannot get enough of your Indian correspondent at the end of your videos. I keep forgetting that y'all put them on at the end, and I end up almost spitting out my coffee every time. I love it.
Spencer's our guy.
We're so happy with that new outro. I just can't. We just get so tickled by it every single day. We're never going to tire of it. Kari Jane said, now listen, you two jerks. I love you. Mailed my Bay Area ballot for the first time as much as I love voting on election day. And my name is pronounced Kari. Buy yourselves a number 1 at McDonald's.
There you go.
And I would have said Carrie had I not already read the super sticker. So thank you for that correction. Appreciate that. And then I do think we also got a Rumble rant from the Ball Pit crew. LNAO 345 said, you are my every morning.
That's sweet. Thank you.
Nice. Let's see. What do I have? Oh, yes. What do I have next? I have for you the latest smear attempt by the Harris campaign. And that is that there's a new groping accusation from some former supermodel who told The Guardian, because no one else would pick up the story, told The Guardian that Donald Trump groped her in what felt like a, quote, twisted game with Jeffrey Epstein.
I cannot. It's just, I know
so
you can't.
Stupid.
You can't. It's the same playbook, and we're all playing a new game now. You know, I mean, it's like we're all just like, seriously, are you going to do this? What, like a week and a half before the election? We're on to you. We know you guys. You know what the best part of this is on Twitter right now. Hashtag Kamala groped me is trending. And I love it. I'm so there for it. Like all these guys are out there going, you know, when I worked at McDonald's back in the day, she groped me. She did. She groped me. And
at the fry station.
Right. And I'm so there for it because people are so sick of this crap. And I'm really sick of these like crap political hit jobs that belittle actual rape victims.
Yeah.
And real sexual assault victims. Because that's what this crap does. And this one, I don't believe this. I don't.
Oh my God. It's absolutely
I don't believe this.
Nonsense.
It is nonsense. I'm so sick of it.
And she, you know, there's a couple pictures of her on your screen right now from her modeling days, and then a video screenshot of a video that she released to coincide with the story where she tries to get choked up, remembering this horrific memory from 31 years ago. And so, I mean, the responses to it are hilarious, and the story is so ridiculous on its face.
Right.
One of the things that she said in the video is that she went on a walk with Epstein in 1993 by his brownstone on the Upper East Side. He did not move into that brownstone until 1996.
Isn't that
so right away? I mean, it's a non-story. And the fact that they think anybody's going to fall for this.
Oh, I'm sure there are people on the left who are just like, we need to believe all women, you know, except for like, I don't know. They haven't said anything. People on the left haven't said anything or have given any credence to Doug Emhoff's like the nanny.
Yeah.
They don't
talk about it.
Right. We don't want to talk about that. But then this broad, let's talk about it, shall we? I'm just, who is sick of this shit? It's like, raise your hand. It's like, can you not find another play in your playbook? Because we have been through, how many times have we been through this?
I know.
Good Lord.
And it's such a dumb story that Axios, Bloomberg, CBS, and CNN have said they were all approached about it 3 weeks ago and they all passed because it's utterly unprovable.
It is.
It's a nonsense story. And it's so obvious that
oh my God,
the timing is what it is. I mean, come on.
It shows their desperation. Like, are you that desperate, Kamala campaign? Are you this desperate? Are you losing that heart? What are they seeing behind the scenes that we're maybe not seeing? Like, we are thinking, okay, well, maybe Trump has like a little bit of an advantage, but it makes me think maybe he has a bigger advantage than we know. Because I feel like there's so much desperation coming from their side. It's starting to play out. And we're going to obviously be talking about that a lot today. Just the different ways of desperation. They reek of it right now.
I mean, it's bad. They
Yeah.
clearly are worried, and they should be after last night's performance at the town hall. It was a disaster for her. Now, I'm about to show you a video that was posted late last night from someone who is one of the least credible people on the planet, who I can't tell if this is a joke because of all of these smears against Donald Trump, or if George Santos really does have a story to tell about Kamala. But here is what he posted on Twitter last night.
Oh, hey guys. Gotta tell you something. It's so crazy. I just got off the phone with a source, and they're telling me that tomorrow the Kamala Harris ship sinks. You're gonna see all the rats jumping off. The story that's gonna break tomorrow is so damning and so bad that Democrats are going to distance themselves from her like something you've never seen before. And essentially, you might even see some asking for people to vote for Trump. This is wild. Stay tuned as this drops tomorrow.
I don't know what to make of that.
I don't either. I don't know either. It's like,
I looked at the comments though, and people were like, what, seriously? He was like, I don't mess around with this stuff. I have all the tea. I have all the receipts. But I can't tell, like, is he doing it to make fun of how ridiculous it is that these stories come out at the last minute for these October surprises? Or is there some teeth to this? I don't know.
You said teeth. Did you see his?
I didn't even notice. I just noticed his gross lips.
I was distracted by it. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll just wait and see what happens today. I still want to know what happened at the Indigo Girls concert. I still want to know. Is anybody going to tell us what happened there? Seriously. There was supposed to be some big bombshell there, and like there's no follow-up. So whatever. Even if he has information, I feel like there's always somebody behind the scenes that can squelch that information if necessary. So again, like Eugene says, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. That's the thing.
That's how I feel.
It's George Santos, like known for his not telling the truth.
Yeah.
So,
but then again, the National Enquirer has broken real stories.
That's true. From time to time, they do get stuff right.
Right.
It's true. You guys, if you haven't gotten a free risk assessment from our friend Zach Abraham at Bulwark Capital Management, why would you not do that? Like, it doesn't matter if you already have a retirement plan, if you already have a financial portfolio, if you already have a financial advisor, why would you not treat this like you need a second opinion? Second opinions are really, really important because you want to have different perspectives of people who are looking at how you're saving so far and telling you, here's what you might consider doing differently. Here's what I might add. Here's what I might subtract. And so there's no obligation. There's no risk to you in getting that risk assessment with him. And if you go to knowyourriskradio.com, you can get a free common sense investing guide. So even if you don't want to talk to him, why not at least get his free common sense investing guide and just look for his tips in that? It's free. Again, no obligation. You can do it by going to knowyourriskradio.com, or you can just call 866-779 risk.
Advisory services offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security. Any references to performance of securities are thought to be materially accurate, and actual performance may differ. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 24308.
That's a mouthful right there.
I mean, it is a mouthful.
It's a mouthful.
Remember how yesterday we were talking about how quite likely, there's all kinds of leftists like saying to Elon, this is illegal what you're doing, giving the $1 million a day. It's like, we're totally going to charge you with like murder for it.
Murder. I love it.
I mean, basically right on cue, the Justice Department has now officially warned him that this giveaway to registered voters may be illegal, and they're looking into it.
Of course. Yeah. Because let's tie up more of our time and our money, because this is our money that's doing this, right? This is exactly what, listen, we're all like concerned about the economy. We're all concerned about prices of things. We don't want our money going to endless wars. We don't want our money going to illegals. And so what do? Hey, let's try to put Elon Musk in jail. That's where we want our money going, right? I hate these people at a level that is not healthy. It's not healthy.
It's still not enough.
It's just not. It's not enough. Can't.
Oh my gosh.
God.
So that's happening. Now here's a little bit of interesting and good news. And that is that Tucker Carlson announced yesterday that Donald Trump is joining him on his live tour in Glendale, Arizona on Halloween. So if you happen to be fortunate enough to be in that area, you should snag yourself some tickets, man. Because that sounds like a fun time.
It does, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Also, this should be way bigger news than it is, way bigger. And it's not getting a lot of attention, but there was a doctor who did a giant study that was taxpayer funded, okay, on puberty blockers, and did the huge study, millions of dollars that we paid for this study to be done. The drugs, the puberty blockers, were found to not improve the mental health of kids with gender distress and dysphoria. And this doctor, the lead on this study, decided not to publish it because they were afraid it would be weaponized by opponents of puberty blockers.
Yeah.
This is so freaking psychotic. Read J.K. Rowling's response to this.
We must not publish a study that says we're harming children, because people who say we're harming children will use the study as evidence that we're harming children, which might make it difficult for us to continue harming children. Yeah, these people, and then these are the same people who are like, follow the science.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah. I know. This is why I trust nobody, you guys. Trust no one. And when they tell you, oh, do this thing, and you need to take this certain thing and put this shot in your arm. How about F you?
Man, if they want more trust back in our institutions,
yeah, it's
not a good way to go about it.
This is definitely not the way.
It's just incredible. Also, this is just a funny thing that happened on Martha McCallum's show yesterday afternoon. So she apparently had asked for a spokesperson from the Kamala campaign and from the Trump campaign to be on her show together to weigh in on some of the latest polling data. And only the Trump campaign person showed up because apparently the polling data isn't looking particularly great. And so this is what, I don't know who this guy is. They do name him, but this spokesperson is officially my new favorite one, because what he says about the reason for Ian Sams, who's that squirrely little nerdy Kamala rep, not coming is my favorite. You are going to love this.
Left. So let's take the temperature of the Trump campaign this hour. We want to note that we invited both campaigns for a discussion back and forth between the two sides on the story. We hope that will happen sometime before the election. And we're glad to have with us today Trump campaign senior advisor Tim Murtaugh joining me now. Tim, good to have you with us.
Well, first, Martha, thank you very much for having me on. And I'm sorry that my counterpart, Ian Sams, couldn't be here. There must have been a sale on soy products at Whole Foods today or something.
That is the greatest. Oh my God, I love him. I love him.
I know, right? Isn't that the best thing ever? And he doesn't look like he would say that somehow.
Oh yeah.
And that
we could be friends.
Better.
We could be friends. It's all dry.
Oh my God.
So great.
So
God
great.
Bless him.
And I don't mean to be Captain Bringdown after showing such a great clip, but you know that nerdy dude on CNN who's like super into the poll watching and who always has all the data?
Mm-hmm.
This is what he said last night.
Again, less than a point lead for Harris in Wisconsin, less than a point lead in Michigan, less than a point lead in Pennsylvania. But the bottom line is Kamala Harris, based upon these polling data, both from the Washington Post and in the averages, has a very clear path at this particular point, just based upon those states, to 270 electoral votes. The bottom line is I don't understand the Democratic panic right now because the path is clear.
So I don't know what to make of that. Polls just make me crazy.
Polls make me crazy too. And I don't know. Do we have? We didn't talk about this in pre-show, but do we have? We don't have any more from the Theo Von JD Vance interview.
No, not today.
Okay. Well, he did talk about polls in that discussion that they had, which was so great. I love that. And that the whole interview is just so great. And he asked him about polls, and he's like, "Polls are crap, right? Polls are crap." And JD Vance's explanation for that is kind of the same reason that you and I talk about polls and how we think that they're crap. And it's simply because they don't poll the right people.
Yeah.
They don't poll. I've never been polled. Have you guys ever? I mean, I'm sure
But then Trump always talks about how he's leading in the polls. I'm leading in the polls. I'm leading in every poll. So I don't know.
It is what it is, you know, but I don't listen. I don't trust polls at all. I just don't think they actually have the pulse of the people. And a lot of people who are, I'm trying to remain positive, but I think a lot of people who are voting for Trump are doing it on the down low. I really believe that.
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, I put up a thing yesterday, and I think you mentioned this. There was I put it on our Instagram yesterday where some guy was talking about how people don't put Trump signs in their yard. And the reason is because they're afraid that their house is going to get vandalized, or their car is going to get keyed. It's like people are afraid to say I'm voting for Trump because the other side they're a bunch of freaking lunatics.
Yeah.
And so we tend to be more quiet about who we're voting for because they're insane. So,
well, and you know, and speaking of the poll, it's like, I don't know. We were talking about this in pre-show too, that I don't know what to make of all of these long lines in the early voting, right? Are these people like me who normally wait till election day, but are now coming out to do early voting? And so on election day, there won't be as many Republicans, or is this a new crop of people? I don't know what to make of the huge turnout that we're seeing in so many places. I don't know.
Yeah. I know the people that I surround myself with in life, swim moms, people like that are just, I happen to be with on a daily basis. I'd say 85 to 90% of them probably are voting for Trump. The rest of them, I'll pray for him, you know,
and us because of them.
Right.
Okay, so yesterday we talked about the ridiculous new smear story from John Kelly, and like, you know, Trump is Hitler, and he's like basically the biggest Nazi ever, and he's a dictator, he's a fascist, all the things, right? And so the story, even though it was refuted by the family of the woman's sister in question, like all of this nonsense about how he didn't want to pay for an effing funeral. All of this is such bull crap. It all so stupid. Kayleigh McEnany was on Fox because she'd been involved in some meetings that included John Kelly. No one, of course, reached out to her. The Atlantic is such a useless, garbage publication. And here is what Kayleigh said.
Based on 4 anonymous sources, 2 weeks before an election, 100%. Disputed by people on the record, and yet it led a CBS News broadcast. What a shame.
Did they include your portion? Did they include?
No, they never reached out to me. I was in that first meeting, never reached out to me. But I will say this quickly. Donald Trump, I have never seen him more downtrodden than when the suckers and losers story came out. Stuff came out of about his finances, fake stories. He didn't care. He was devastated by that story. I remember him saying, what kind of monster would ever say words like that? This is shameful reporting from the Atlantic, in my opinion.
Well, to the
Yep. And it's true. Lies, total lies.
It's complete nonsense. And I was surprised to hear this fellow, his name is Costa. Last name is Costa. I'm not sure of his first name, but CBS guy, CBS News in Washington, actually saying out loud, why is this story coming out? And he was very honest about it.
Why do you think Kelly is speaking up now?
Because we are just days away from the presidential election, and retired General Kelly and so many people who worked for former President Donald Trump in the White House are speaking up with new alarm about the possibility of him returning to power. And there is a sense inside political circles at the highest level that a return of Trump to the White House could lead to dramatic changes in U.S. foreign policy, U.S. domestic policy with his proposal for mass deportations. And there is fear. And the Harris campaign is playing into that a bit by having former Congresswoman Liz Cheney on the campaign trail talking about some of these themes.
It makes you wonder what these people have done, that they're so scared of him getting back in office and releasing things like the Epstein list and things like that. You know, these people are so terrified of him being president again. Why do you think that is? Because it's like he's going to go in there and he's going to destroy the deep state. They're so terrified of that.
Yeah,
it's like
that's what it is. They're afraid of their entire apparatus being
destroyed,
upside down.
Right. Why are you so terrified of that? It's like, what is your problem? Just let the people decide who they want, you assholes. Like, I just get I'm sorry about the language, but I get so mad at these people because it's like they are the ones who preach all the time about democracy, but they just refuse to let it happen because they're so power hungry. They get stuck in these positions and they're just like, I need to keep it. I need to keep it. We can't have this guy come in and basically do what the founders intended. Yeah. That's exactly what he's done. That's all he's done. And so they'll do everything, including lie, which is precisely what he's doing. How dare he do that? How does he sleep at night? It's so gross.
It's vile. It's absolutely
and her
vile.
sister is like making the rounds saying,
oh yeah,
he's lying. This is a lie.
We've actually got a clip of her because she was on with her attorney. I think it was on Laura Ingraham's show, and we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But yesterday we played a clip of this fellow Ryan. I don't know how to say his last name. I think it's Jerdusky. He's fantastic, and so he was on CNN to talk about this as well.
According to the Jeffrey Goldberg article, which we've talked about this entire night, you can't trust that article because the quote 60,000 for an effing Mexican funeral, the only two on-record sources both said that he didn't say that. The only source is an anonymous source, and the family of the deceased soldier said that he was lovely to them, and in fact, they voted for Donald Trump today. That's how much they disagreed, and they said it was a disrespectful article that politicized the death of their loved one. And Jeffrey Goldberg did not care about printing something that they had no sources on the record for. And I, honest to God, like most Americans, do not care about General Kelly's farewell tour where he tries to make amends for working for Donald Trump, since Democrats said we're going to run all these Republicans who work for Trump out of town unless they somehow make peace. So 2 weeks before Election Day, he runs to liberal journalist Susan Glasser about a conversation that allegedly happened 4 years ago. It doesn't pass a smell test. And that is why people are turned off to all of these stories. They remember Donald Trump's presidency for low inflation, jobs, peace through strength, controlled borders. That's why they care. No one believes Jeffrey Goldberg and the article from a publication that's owned by one of Harris's donors.
Yeah. Well, smart, critically thinking people are turned off by all these stories. You know, the people who hate him, who are guided by hate, are loving these stories. It's pure evil, man. It's just pure evil. It's gross.
Yeah, it is.
And I feel sorry for the family. I feel sorry for them.
Yeah. I mean, it's awful. And the fact that they had always expected that their family member's death would never be politicized, and now they're being, thrown into this because of John Kelly. And we'll show you a screenshot too of what George Conway said to this woman's sister on Twitter. I could not believe it. And you'll see that in just a second. But first, I want to remind you about how awesome Coat Defense is, because it's
my gosh.
Dogs and cats,
kitty cat and horses and people too.
So this is their staple product. This is the preventative powder that you can sprinkle on their dog beds, by the way, because sometimes they get yeast infections and which can irritate their skin just from their dog beds, because there might just be like some funk in the dog beds, right? You can sprinkle this on the dog beds, or you can just sprinkle it right onto your dog, and then you just go like this and you just like rub it in, and then you can rub it in between their toe beans, and you can put it in their ears and rub that in. And this prevents and treats so many of the causes, the root causes, to quote Kamala, that cause a lot of your dog's skin irritation. So if you see them scratching a lot or chewing at their paws, or, doing the thing that they do with their ears, like if you see them doing any of that, this is what you need. This is going to save you buttloads of money you won't have to go to the vet and get them on Apoquel and all the other nonsense that your vets want them to be on. This is what you need. It's magic. And it's from coatdefense.com. They also have a line of shampoo that doesn't remove all the necessary oils that your dogs and cats need. I mean, don't bathe your cats really, but like your dogs, when you give them baths, it doesn't take away the good oils that they need. So amazing stuff for people too. They have a lot of great products all over their website. You can check it out, coatdefense.com. Use code CHICKS. You're going to get 15% off of your entire order at coatdefense.com. So check that out. The next person to weigh in is Scott Jennings.
Probably will shock Kamala Harris and the rest of her campaign staff to learn that there are incumbent Democrat U.S. senators in this country right now running television ads touting all their work with this modern day Hitler. I wonder if Kamala Harris tonight in our town hall meeting will call for them to take these ads off the air, touting their work with this Hitler. I mean, if he were really Hitler, if he were really a threat to democracy, not a single Democrat in this country would be running ads touting their work with Donald Trump.
Right. Exactly. And Chuck Schumer wouldn't have talked to him at that whatever dinner that Catholic dinner the other night.
Al Smith dinner.
They were like joking around with each other. If he was if he was so much of a threat, if he was in fact Hitler, don't you think he'd be kind of afraid of him, or he'd distance himself from him? There were Democrats there who were all like chummy with him. They're so full of crap. They're so full of crap. They all, like, behind the scenes, they all are kind of chummy with, maybe not chummy, but they talk to him. They razz with each other. He was friends with that guy until he put an R next to his name. They're all full of crap. They do not think he's Hitler. They're liars.
This is legit insightful. I mean, the fact that he's, there's been 2 assassination attempts, and now they're basically giving a license to the crazy people to take him out.
Which is totally. And then they're like, you guys need to lower the temperature.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, I'm genuinely like legit scared for him. And I heard on Glenn Beck's show, Glenn was talking about his own personal security team. He's got like 2 dudes that are amazing. And those 2 dudes were telling Glenn that they are genuinely afraid for Donald Trump, and they don't know how he's going to survive to January 20th.
Oh
they're
my
worried.
God.
And they're worried obviously about him being out and about and getting shot at potentially again, but they're more worried about his plane being shot. And it freaks me out.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like our security team. We have just a team of men that they totally secure us all the time, right? Right. You and me.
Right. I mean,
they're
right at the door right now.
I'm sorry. Like, that's just crazy. No, I hear you. And it's nuts. I totally, I know. And you think, okay, he's surrounded by people, he's going to be totally fine. But yeah. And if something does happen to him, it is all their fault.
Oh my God.
150% their fault.
And they won't care. They'll be glad.
Oh, they'll be delighted. Hitler. They want it to happen. Make no mistake. They are frothing at the mouth for it to happen.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
These people are evil.
And Kamala had to weigh in. I'm not going to play her entire diatribe because it's too ridiculous to play, but you do need to hear how she came out of her own residence, had the little podium set up to make a statement about this nonsense story.
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired 4-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had.
Oh my God.
Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him. It is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews and hundreds of thousands of Americans. All of this is further evidence for the American people of who Donald Trump really is.
These people, man.
And it is clear from John Kelly's words that Donald Trump is someone who, I quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, who in fact vowed to be a dictator on day one and vowed to use the military as his personal militia to carry out his personal and political vendettas. Donald Trump is increasingly unhinged and unstable. And in a second term, people like John Kelly would not be there to be the guardrails against his propensities and his actions. Those who once tried to stop him from pursuing his worst impulses would no longer be there, and no longer be there to rein him in. So the bottom line is this. We know what Donald Trump wants. He wants unchecked power.
Oh my God.
The question
in
13 days will be, what do the American people want? Thank you.
God help her, man. God help her for saying all of that bullshit. Seriously. Because so what, 2 days ago, Obama gets on a stage and says, I don't know why we're so divided. I don't know why, you guys. I can't understand the divisiveness. And then Kamala's like, Trump is Hitler. These people are lunatics. They will do everything they can to retain power, and then they gaslight the crap out of people. They project, gaslight. This is their playbook. Man, God help her for getting on a stage and saying those things.
I know. And now Mercedes Schlapp, who actually worked for John Kelly, tweeted this yesterday. I worked for John Kelly and don't believe him. His last ditch effort to stop Donald Trump is desperate. This is a personal vendetta from a staffer who failed at his job and believed as chief of staff that he should have been the ultimate decision maker. Trump loves America, will preserve our freedoms, and has done more for the Jewish people than any other president, which is also a great point that keeps getting left out of this.
Right.
Freaking Israel has a city named after Trump. He is the one that restored their capital.
Damn straight.
He's the one. He's the one whose son-in-law created the Abraham Accords and made all of these peace deals. And people are going to try to compare him to Hitler.
Hitler.
It makes no sense to anybody that has sense. It makes no sense.
There are Jews out there that I've seen on Twitter that are like, I am completely insulted by this. Absolutely insulted. Like, how dare you compare him to Hitler? You know, and to say, and he killed 6 million Jews. And it's like, yeah, he did. Hitler did do that. And Trump is not anywhere anything like Hitler. So stop making the comparison. The fact that Democrats, I mean, like, you guys can go back to the time when Bush was president. You can see them. Democrats compared Bush to Hitler.
This is
Democrats, they compared Romney to Hitler. This is what they do. They compare every Republican to Hitler because that is their playbook. This is what they do. They are idiots who have no other playbook than this. And what are we? Not even 2 weeks out from the election. And she is grasping. She is desperate. And I think she's losing. And she's like, oh shit. And I'm sorry, not her, Obama, because he wants his 4th term. He's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Let's call him Hitler. Because that's what
we tried that before? I can't remember.
I can't. I know. Oh, no, I can't. Yeah, you have tried it before. And I mean, for some of the stupid people, it works.
Yeah. Doug Collins, former representative from Georgia, said in the past 24 hours, Biden calls for Trump to be locked up. Kamala compares Trump to Hitler. And Barack Obama has no idea how we got so toxic and divided. We cannot let Democrats win.
Yeah.
2 weeks left. Don't let up.
These people are insane.
Stephen Chung, who is the campaign communications director for the Trump team, issued a statement on Kamala's statement and said, Kamala Harris is a stone cold loser who is increasingly desperate because she's flailing and her campaign is in shambles. That's why she continues to peddle outright lies and falsehoods that are easily disproven. The fact is that Kamala's dangerous rhetoric is directly to blame for the multiple assassination attempts against him, and she continues to stoke the flames of violence, all in the name of politics. She is despicable, and her grotesque behavior proves she is wholly unfit for office.
She is. Grotesque is the right word.
Trump weighed in too. Read this, please.
Comrade Kamala Harris sees that she is losing and losing badly, especially after stealing the race from crooked Joe Biden. So now she is increasingly raising her rhetoric, going so far as to call me Adolf Hitler and anything else that comes to her warped mind. She is a threat to democracy and not fit to be president of the United States, and her polling so indicates.
But they won't stop. And it's coming directly from now the press secretary, the speaker for Joe Biden, literally calling him a fascist. This was yesterday at her presser.
And to be praising Adolf Hitler,
what the hell?
It's dangerous and it's also disgusting.
Oh, is it dangerous and disgusting?
We do agree. President Biden believes that Donald Trump is a fascist.
I mean, yes, we have said. He said himself. The former president has said he is going to be a dictator on day one. We cannot ignore that.
My God.
We cannot. And we cannot ignore or forget what happened on January. So,
my God, I know, right?
I'm raging.
Anybody who believes that, you're wearing a mask and you're vaxxed. I mean, I
like
see some people,
septuple vax.
I see a couple people in our comments, that are just like, I saw somebody that said Trump has dementia. Okay.
Okay.
Run along. Go get like octuple vaxxed. Put your mask back on, honey.
As we mentioned, the sister's family lawyer was on Laura Ingraham last night, and she was awesome, by the way. She's been pushing back against this John Kelly narrative, and here's what she said on Laura's show.
This piece, I can't even call it a story. This piece, leave it there, was full of lies. I myself spoke to him, and I told him certain things. For a matter of fact, I said I could not speak about the issue, about these things and about these things. And then he says, Natalie Quam said this. And that was not true. I mean, that's what really bothers me. I've worked with both sides of the aisle with producers and reporters and the media for years, both sides of the aisle. I've never had to deal with somebody that just went that low, below the belt, just to get a story out. And it was, quite honestly, it was wrong and it was unethical. And I had to take on that position of I'm going to call him out. And I appreciate honest reporting, and this is honest reporting when you can put us on the record, when you can have us talk, and you don't have to say things that we didn't say. So thank you, Laura, for doing a good, honest piece here.
I just hope that people see it. And then the people on the left, they won't care. I mean, they talk about him being a dictator. They want to pack the Supreme Court. They want to eliminate the filibuster. They want to eliminate the Electoral College. They want to weaponize the DOJ, the FBI, the IRS, CIA. They want to weaponize all these things. But Donald Trump is the dictator.
I feel like I have that in a tweet somewhere that I'm about to show.
Okay. They want to do all these things. Yeah. This is the thing that it's like they're such projectors, you guys. I don't understand. I don't understand how
that people believe it. It is incredible.
Right. I don't understand how flip-flopped everything can be. I just don't understand how people on the left can look at that and go, oh yeah, he wants to be a dictator on day one. Like things were so much better under him. There were the wars, everything. And then, I saw a lot of people yesterday talking about how if he gets into office, I think it was like Dana Lash. I saw her actually on a show yesterday. I can't remember what show it was. She was on a show yesterday and she was talking about how she has 2 military age sons. And that I thought of you. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think of my daughter, because my daughter's not exempt either. But I start thinking about how, my God, like people on the left, they have kids. Are they not thinking about like the fact that what if Kamala gets into office, Liz Cheney will be her Secretary of Defense? How is that?
Oh my God.
Think about it, you guys. That terrifies the crap. That should terrify people on the left. They've got kids. Do they not think about this kind of stuff? Like, we can't be the only people that think about this. Is it Laura Ingraham? Yes, she was on Laura Ingraham. I mean, yesterday I thought, oh my God, like, okay, so we think about it, but they also have kids. So why aren't they forward thinking like that?
Because they're morons. If there's still people who buy into anything Kamala says, they're beyond hope when it comes to having any logic, reasoning, intelligence, common sense. I know I'm supposed to not denigrate an entire half of the country that is going to vote for her, but I don't know how to explain how people can believe anything she said, especially now with all the new plagiarizing accusations. I mean, she's a stone cold liar about everything.
And somebody said they'll be exempt. They won't be exempt. How can they say, oh, if you vote a Democrat, you'll be exempt? They won't be exempt. Their kids will be drafted just like our kids. You know what I mean? Into these, if wars get out of control, if World War III happens, which is, listen, to me, that's a complete possibility. If Kamala gets into office, these people are nuts. And Liz Cheney's even more nuts. So, I mean, this is the stuff I think about. And I'm like, how can they not be thinking about this? It's crazy.
We mentioned George Conway, and because I could not believe. So imagine being the sister of that fallen soldier and you love Trump and his reaction, his help to your family. He was respectful. He was kind. He was generous in wanting to help cover the costs of the funeral. Imagine being furious at this story being around right now out there in the ether and everyone politicizing your own sister's death and then tweeting that, saying, this isn't true. Trump has been nothing but kind to my family. And then having George Conway tell you that you're wrong.
Oh my God.
Read what he said to her.
God, I hate this guy so much. No one is exploiting your sister's death here. This isn't about her. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I know.
It's about Trump's sociopathic behavior. He displays it publicly and privately, and his contempt for anyone else's lives, including those of men and women in uniform who made the ultimate sacrifice, is apparent to anyone who chooses, unlike you, to open their eyes.
Can you imagine tweeting this to somebody like that?
What is this guy? What a piece of, he is an absolute piece of crap.
Yep. I was stunned. He's getting absolutely blasted
I
for
wish
it.
Kellyanne could divorce him harder. Like, can she divorce him 50 more times? How do you, oh my God.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible that he would have this level of audacity. You know,
you have no conscience.
Yeah. It's just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
And you look like a wannabe, like what Wayne Newton. And you're not Wayne Newton, sir.
He looks like if you took Wayne Newton and Kim Jong-un and made them a person, it would end up being George Conway.
They had a baby and it's George Conway, only shorter. God.
Let's not forget too, I thought this is an old video, but I thought this is an important thing to remember when it comes to all of these smears that are happening right now from Democrats onto Donald Trump. Pelosi gave us the playbook that they use when it comes to smearing their opponents. She was very, very clear about it. And in case you don't remember what she said, just check out this video.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made.
Look how delighted she is to just say it.
Special place in hell, man. Special place in hell.
This is what you said a little bit ago. This is what it reminded me of. Eric Schmidt tweeted, the left, if we could just jail Trump, get rid of MAGA, end Electoral College, pack the court, ban voter ID, and censor free speech, we could save democracy.
Yeah. Only it's really not democracy. It's a constitutional republic. Yeah, because Kamala in her stupid little non-town hall, which is all scripted last night, which I know we're going to get to. She was like, he hates the Constitution. Really, biatch?
God, what a bullshit thing to even say.
I love you for watching the whole thing all the way through because I couldn't.
I watched it. And you know that's late for me. It didn't end until 10:15.
I mean, my blood pressure, it was too much, you guys. It's too much. The lies are too much for me. I'm incapable of it at this point. I think it's because of COVID. Listen, it's not that I was capable of it before COVID, but COVID has made me, it's like I'm allergic to it now. I break out in a rash when these people start lying. And it's like, I'm just like, I can't, I'm going to become like, I'm going to choose violence. If you are going to lie to me, I can't do it. And they do it. They constantly do it. And people buy their lies. And it's too much for me to bear.
Couple thank yous to dole out. Susan G. Ferg said Texas DPS requires Prince to get a driver's license. Love you, chicks. Is that right? Did you get your printy print?
I know I got a print. When you get guns and stuff, you get a print. Did I have to get a driver? I think I actually did do my fingerprints when I got my driver's license. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't mind if people take my fingerprint, whatever.
Nikki 08 said, I wonder if coat defense works well with the lab skin allergies. Yes,
totally.
I have labs. Yes, it does. Absolutely, it does.
Yeah, we have a German Shepherd, son-in-law. That's what do you call it? Grandson. I'm sorry, grandson.
Granddog.
German grand dog. Yeah, and he had really bad allergies, and it's cured because of that.
Yeah, stuff. It's not breed specific. Like. It's good for all the dogs.
Right.
Judy Flood said, I feel civil war if something happens to Trump. I pray for our country daily.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, we're very polite on our side of the aisle, but if something happens to him, I really feel like there maybe would be some unrest.
Or even if he loses and something doesn't happen to him, but he loses, I worry if things seem shady on the,
I feel
election integrity front.
I just feel like November's going to be a weird month. December, I think November, December are going to be some weird months.
I picked a great time to try to move across the country.
Right.
Let's see. Over on Venmo, Marilyn Ayers says, "Good morning, beautiful chicks. The left is grasping at so many straws that you would think Kamala worked the McDonald's drive-thru last weekend."
Right.
Cindy O'Connell says, "My husband and I voted yesterday. When he saw a woman with a mask, he said, I know where that vote's going."
I mean, why are people wearing masks outside or inside for that matter? What are you doing?
What did you
doing?
Remember how that's over? Like, we don't have to do that anymore.
God, these people.
Jennifer Alcozer says, "Voted in Texas on Monday. 2 people were flagged as receiving paper ballots, and before they were allowed to vote, had to surrender their paper ballot." What?
Do we have any more? Because I have to address somebody in our comment section.
Oh, yeah, we've got a bunch more.
Okay. Go ahead.
C. Douglas says, "My computer uses my fingerprint, but it only works half the time. Makes me wonder if my vote would register." Huh, that's wild. Nicole Bodeker, thank you very much. Sid's tips, superfan Sid says, "Make red lipstick great again." Alexandra says, "Good morning. I finally got home late last night, got my ballot, and will be voting today. It's good to be back, even though I miss Croatia. Tomorrow, we're celebrating my mom's birthday, and I can't wait to finally wear my MAGA red lipstick." Thank you for that. Lisa Quaid says, "Hey, chicks, I served on a jury this week. Homeless guy spot on a woman." Maybe spat. I'm going to guess spat on a woman. In his closing argument, the defense attorney actually said, "Is this Hawk Tua or say it, don't spray it?" Have a great day. Oh my God, that's actually used in a defense argument. That's amazing. Nicole Bodeker says, "Here in Texas, your fingerprint is required to get your driver's license, so the government already has it." All right. Connie Cannell says, "Hide your kids. I have this shirt. I've never been fondled by Donald Trump, but I have been screwed by Joe Biden."
There you go.
Love it. The photo in the story says, "Dems want an awful to be activated as an assassin." Yeah, I mean, they are literally inviting violence. C. Douglas said, "Such bullshit," but I don't know what she was referring to exactly. That was at 8:38. Andrea Viola says, Why they are calling Trump Hitler is because they are crafting the narrative to overthrow the country. Have communists returned about power by vote? Nope. That's exactly right. You can vote communism in, you can't vote it out.
It's true.
Marcus Drake says, "I saw Trump's security in Lancaster to a man. They all look badass. One looked like a legit Viking warrior. Another looked like Carl Weathers in Rocky II. And a third just looked like he ate nails for breakfast." Which is great, but they can't protect a plane from being shot out of the sky. Do you know what I mean? This is why I get worried.
Yeah, that really bothers me too.
Laura Kate Baker says, "Projection. Harris is accusing Trump of what she wants. Projection equals confession." Yep. Bo Mama 8 says, "I think it's going to be interesting if the draft does come on to play, how fast the Demeroids will misgender all of the LGBTQ community."
Oh my God.
And Shelby Horner, SNH Graphics, says, "My mother wears a mask. She has immunity issues."
It's a little different.
It's a little bit different.
But when
you see, like, I was seeing some gender bending 20-year-olds, and I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I just think they're
Or like when you
weirdos.
see the people at the grocery store, like, if I go into Austin, you see people at a grocery store with a mask and they're buying like Twinkies and like, you know what I mean? And like they have like 14 things of Mountain Dew. And I'm like, I feel like that's going to hurt you more than
breathing the air,
the actual air outside. Yeah, I think you're probably in more trouble. Is somebody going to block Eve? Or are we going to have to, because Eve is really getting on my last freaking nerve.
What's Eve doing?
She's just getting on my last nerve.
Eve is not. What does that even mean?
She's talking about how like Trump is taking away our rights and all this. She is like bombing the comment section.
Oh, really?
She's
okay, well, not
last
anymore.
nerve.
She's gone now.
Thank you.
Bye, Eve.
Bye, Eve. Go
Find
find a
something else
life.
to do.
Okay.
All right. We got to get to the town hall, because the town hall was amazing.
Ridiculous.
So we're gonna play the longest clip first, because this was the most amazing part, and it was when and Anderson did okay here. I mean, he wasn't great, but he did okay when he was questioning her about the border, and specifically about the border wall, which, you know, she keeps saying, I was in support of this bipartisan bill that had wall money in it. And he was like, wait a minute. Didn't you say that the wall was a vanity project of Trump? Didn't you like make fun of it? Why are you now in favor of spending a bunch of money on it? And she just flailed during this part of his questioning. Check it out.
Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Remember Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on, they didn't. How much of that wall did he build? I think the last number I saw is about 2%. And then when it came time for him to do a photo op, you know where he did it? In the part of the wall that President Obama built.
But you're agreeing to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill to further strengthen and secure our border. Yes, I am. And I'm going to work across the aisle to pass a comprehensive bill that deals with a broken immigration system. I think Jackson's question, part of it was to acknowledge that America has always had migration, but there needs to be a legal process for it.
Oh my God.
People have to earn it. And that's the point that I think is the most important point that can be made, which is we need a president who is grounded in common sense and practical outcomes. Like, let's just fix this thing. Let's just fix it. Why is there any ideological perspective on it? Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I am not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
And
I
racist.
think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense, because he actually didn't do much of anything.
What?
I just talked about that wall, right? We just talked about it. He didn't actually do much of anything.
He started
but you
building
do want to
it.
build some wall.
I want to strengthen our border.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. So, okay.
That's amazing. That was amazing.
It's what's amazing is she had the questions in advance. That's what amazes me, is she knew it was going to be asked, you guys. And that's how prepared she was for this. Like, that's remarkable. Isn't that remarkable? Like,
there's no way. There's no way that she knew all of them. That cannot be.
Yes, she knew. It wasn't a town hall. Everything was scripted. Even Maria Shriver said that. She knew listen, I know for a fact, you have to know that, like, CNN told her, these are the questions, these are the subjects. She had to have been prepared.
Then why
for that
was she,
question?
No, but she was so surprised by some of the questions, like utterly unprepared for them, completely deer in headlights. To some, you're going to see them. Like, it's
how can you not be prepared? Yeah, totally.
Well, exactly.
How can you not be prepared for answering a question on the freaking wall? You were the border czar.
Because he backed her into that
by
saying, you used to call it stupid and now you're promoting it.
Right.
So I don't think she knew these questions. Not based on how much she flailed and looked like a deer in headlights at him. I don't think she knew him.
They tore that wall down and they sold the parts. I mean, yeah.
But she's now trying to say, oh yeah, there's $650 million for a wall. And he kept pushing her. But okay, so is it stupid or is it not stupid now? And she's like, I want to secure the border. Okay. Oh my God.
You just can't make this up.
He asked, and I loved that finally somebody asked her about this, because she keeps trying to say, oh, look, we did this executive order like just a few months ago that finally actually made a difference, because it was one of the things that Trump had done way back in the day that they reversed on day one. And Anderson Cooper finally asked her about it. She also flailed on this one.
2022, 2023, there were record border crossings. Your administration took hundreds of executive actions. It didn't stem the flow. Numbers kept going up. Finally, in 2024, just in June, 3 weeks before the first presidential debate with Joe Biden, you institute executive actions that had a dramatic impact, really shut down people crossing over. Why didn't your administration do that in 2022, 2023?
First of all, you're exactly right, Anderson. And as of today, we have cut the flow of immigration by over half. In fact, the numbers I saw most recently, illegal immigration
But if
is
it was
low.
that
But hold
easy
on,
with
let me
that
finish.
executive action, why not do it in 2022, 2023?
Because
Yeah.
we were working with Congress and hoping that actually we could have a long-term fix to the problem
you
instead of a
weren't.
short-term fix.
You couldn't have done one and both at the same time?
Well, here's the thing. We have to understand that ultimately this problem is going to be fixed through congressional action.
Bullshit.
Oh my
That's absolute bullshit. And the congressional action that she wanted was amnesty. It was blanket amnesty. That's what and that bill that she's always like, oh, Republicans didn't want to do. That's precisely what it was. It was just blanket amnesty for a bunch of people. It didn't do anything. It didn't solve the problem of illegal immigration. It just it just said, hey, all you people that broke the law, you didn't really break the law. You didn't do that. Just like, welcome. This is what she wants. She wants amnesty for all these people.
And when you hear her say, oh, the bill would allow 1,500 more Border Patrol agents at the border, it's not the only thing that they would be doing is processing more people in under their current amnesty and under their current asylum laws, which are utterly stupid the way that they're doing that right now. And it's the reason that we have such an influx. So she won't tell you that, but it's all such, and she's
plus,
so bad at this.
Plus that bill had so much pork in it. And of course, no one ever talks about that. Because God forbid we talk about that.
There was a question from a student named Jackson in the audience where and you'll see his actual question written on the Chiron, where he asked her, hey, all these migrants cost money, essentially. So how much taxpayer money exactly is going to continue to be spent on them? That was the question. You figure out if she answered it.
Will the American citizens' taxes pay for these benefits and subsidies? And if so, how much money will be allocated?
Well, thank you, Jackson. Let's start with this. America's immigration system is broken and it needs to be fixed. And it's been broken for a long time.
Oh my God.
And part of what we need to do is always prioritize what we need to do to strengthen our border. I will tell you, I'm the only person in this race among the two choices that voters have. I've personally prosecuted transnational criminal organizations.
Oh, God. I can't.
In the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I have spent a significant part of my career making sure that our border is secure and that we do not allow criminals in and we don't allow that kind of trafficking to happen and come into our country.
Except for the ones you did.
As my opponent has proven himself, he would prefer to run on the problem instead of fix the problem.
No time did she talk about money.
No, not at all. Where are the 300,000 plus kids that you let come across the border and get trafficked, Kamala? We're going to talk about that. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Where are they? Where are they? And where is AOC crying at the border getting a photo op about those kids? I'd like to know. AOC, where are you? Crickets. She's nowhere to be found. Neither is Alyssa Milano. Remember her? Remember that biatch?
Oh my God, I'd actually forgotten all about her. And
I know.
Appreciate you bringing her up.
She's completely silent. Remember that biatch used to be everywhere up in our faces because she was so concerned about the illegal kids. And now nothing. We don't hear anything from her. It's so weird.
It's so weird. Last clip about the border stuff, and this is just a quick 3-second clip because I could not believe that this sentence came out of her face.
I never intended, nor will I ever allow America to have a border that is not secure.
Oh my God.
That was an actual sentence that came out of her face.
You know, and back in 2021 and 2022, remember, she used to be like, the border is secure. The border is secure. Remember? Yeah.
She said it a lot.
Yes, she did. Meanwhile, like 18 million illegals have crossed the border. What? I'm sorry. A little bit of a discrepancy. Little bit of a discrepancy there. Yeah.
She was also asked about the whole Nazi story. She was jazzed to talk about how much of a Nazi and how much of a Hitler person and fascist that Donald Trump is. But Anderson was asking the question, kind of around anti-Semitism and the rise in anti-Semitism across the country. There was also an audience member who asked a similar question. She has trouble with that because she knows, well, she knows, but she won't say. Trump obviously is very pro-Israel, and that doesn't jive with the whole Hitler narrative.
Right.
So when Anderson pressed her about whether she would be a stronger partner to Israel than Trump was, she really flailed on this answer too.
To listen to John Kelly, the former chief of staff of Donald Trump, who has told us, Donald Trump said, why aren't my generals like those of Hitler's? Like Hitler, who has referred several times, we've heard the reports for years.
Do you believe Donald Trump is anti-Semitic?
I believe Donald Trump is a danger to the well-being and security of America.
He has
That's not
said
the
that
question.
he's casting himself as a protector of Israel. Do you believe you would be more pro-Israel than Donald Trump?
I believe that Donald Trump is dangerous.
Okay.
So you can't answer a damn question? Oh my God, I can't. And listen, the joy is gone, you guys. Remember all the joy? The joy, so much joy in their convention. And now she's like, he's a fascist. He's Hitler. Rah.
She just needs a scary red background, and
She
we would
really
be all
does.
set.
And then she would be Biden, right? God, these people, they're so see-through. They're very transparent.
Very. And they in not in the way that they want to be.
Right.
Sean Spicer, our friend Sean Spicer, was on with Megyn Kelly yesterday and had a really interesting perspective about why these kinds of stories, like the John Kelly story, and all of like the Millies and the Mattises of the world, why they became so anti-Trump. Thought this was like too important not to share. But he said that the reason that those folks dislike Trump so much is because, for example, with Afghanistan, Trump had questions about it when he came into office. The generals, all the experts, presented all of their information, and it wasn't enough for Trump. He brought in a roundtable of actual enlisted soldiers and said, I want to know about your deployments. I want to know what you need. He listened more to them than the experts, and that is why they hated him.
I love it. I totally love it. Yeah.
Totally makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, because it's like because listen, those generals and the colonels and all of them, they become just like, I mean, I hate to say it. I'm not sure. And if you guys have family members who are generals and colonels, I'm sorry, but they become like senators and Congress people. They become very elitist.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it happen.
Yep.
They become the upper echelon, and it's like, you can't question me. Well, the hell I can't. You know?
We also need to play a clip of what happened when she flailed on a question about her tax plan. It was a bad night for her, you guys. It was bad.
Yeah, really bad.
In terms of their taxes. Right now, Anderson, the document, it is well documented that some of the richest people in our country have gotten away with a zero tax rate.
But if you're earning $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 under your plan, there's a good chance your taxes go up.
We can't have this conversation without knowing it's a very complicated situation, right?
It's a really complicated situation, so we can't talk about it, you guys.
Yeah,
I can't about that tax plan.
I can't talk about complicated things. What do you think? I'm running for president? Come on.
This video is slightly edited. You'll see how in just a second. But this is one example of many why I don't think she had the questions in advance, because if she had, she would not have flailed this hard when asked a very standard interview question. What are your weaknesses and how do you plan to overcome them?
Perhaps a weakness, some would say, but I actually think it's a strength.
Well, my weaknesses are actually strengths. Oh. Yes. Very good. There you go. Very good.
I really do value having a team of very smart people around me.
I work too hard. I care too much. And sometimes I can be too invested in my job.
So I may not be quick to have the answer as soon as you ask it about a specific policy issue sometimes, because I'm going to want to research it. I'm going to want to study it. I'm kind of a nerd sometimes, I confess.
Oh, God. The giggling at her own joke. She is a complete and utter moron. She really is. I know we differ on this, but I think she did get a lot of these questions in advance. I really do. And I think she's just.
Then there's no excuses for how dumb she is.
I know. And that's the thing. I think you just want to believe that she's smarter than she is, but I think she is Forrest Gump stupid. She is that stupid, you guys. Yeah.
But then again, so if she knew that one of the questions was going to be, what's one of your mistakes that you've made, that she'd be prepared with an example at the ready, and she was not. This is how she answered that question.
Is there something you can point to in your life, political life, or in your life in the last 4 years that you think is a mistake that you have learned from?
This was my favorite.
I mean, I've made many mistakes, and they range from, if you've ever parented a child, you make lots of mistakes.
I mean, she really hasn't.
In my role as vice president, I mean, I've probably worked very hard at making sure that I am well versed on issues, and I think that is very important. It's a mistake not to be well versed on an issue and feel compelled to answer a question.
It's not a mistake.
There's no way that she knew that question was coming. No freaking way.
She really parented a child? Has she really done that?
I mean, you said that you were a step parent, so you know that's.
I mean, yeah, but it's like it's sort of a. I mean, I don't know. I parented, but it was kind of a different kind of parenting.
Exactly. And it's not an example you would have ever given if you knew that question was coming.
I would not have given.
Way.
I would not have given that as the answer. No, I would not.
She is a moron.
It's and how many times, I've interviewed for a gajillion jobs, and that is always a question.
Always.
And you know how to answer it. And so
the weaknesses, the mistakes. Oh my God, this is a gimme.
I feel like that is, and the fact that she can't answer that question just like that, what is wrong with you? So apparently she's never interviewed for an actual job before.
Well, she's just had to,
she's just had the, you know what I'm saying?
That's her interview.
That's her. You got the job, lady. Yeah. I actually answered the questions, so it's a little different.
Was it yesterday? I feel like, didn't we play a video earlier in the week where Mark Cuban was insisting that all the things that Kamala said she's going to do, she's not really going to do? Didn't we play that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. I didn't dream
I think it may have been yesterday. We're losing track.
Where he was like, no, she's not going to tax unrealized capital gains, and no, she's not going to do the. And if she did end the filibuster, and if she did, I would vote against. I would campaign against her
the next time, even though the country will have been in complete shambles by then. Right. Yeah.
So somebody needs to send this clip specifically to Mark Cuban.
Let me ask you. You've talked about codifying Roe v. Wade. That would obviously require 60 votes in the Senate, a majority of the House. That's a big leap. We don't have that yet. If that's not possible to codify it in the House, what do you do?
I think we need to take a look at the filibuster, to be honest with you.
Somebody needs to let Mark Cuban know that.
Okay, why don't you send that to him? You should tweet, since you handle our Twitter and I handle Instagram, you should tweet that to him today.
Okay, well, I already sort of did.
Did you do it? Okay.
I did, but I just need more people.
Okay, everybody tweet that to Mark Cuban today. Everybody tweet it to him. Yeah.
Just tweet our whole show to him. I just want him to be bombarded with our entire show
with us
all at once.
We should totally. Absolutely.
This last clip from the town hall is probably the one that's getting the most talked about all over social media, because when you transcribe this answer, it is so freaking funny. He's basically asking the question that a lot of people have asked her. You keep talking about all these things you want to do. You've been in office for 4 years. Why haven't you done it? This is what she said.
Voters, though, might ask, you've been in the White House for 4 years. You were vice president, not the president. But why wasn't any of that done for the last 4 years?
Well, there was a lot that was done, but there's more to do, Anderson. And I'm pointing out things that need to be done, that haven't been done, but need to be done.
Wow. She's almost like a prophet. She's like a prophet. It's like she's such a great orator.
there was a lot done, but there's more to be done that I want to have done. So we're going to have that done.
It was so beautiful. We should set it to music. It was just so beautiful. The way that she released that from her face. So good.
That was amazing. All right. So for a little bit of reaction, Piers Morgan, not impressed. Read his tweet.
I watched this whole town hall. It was terrible. Kamala just talks an endless word salad gibberish. When she loses, and she will, the Democrats are going to look so dumb for allowing her to coronate herself as nominee without any proper contest. It's true.
I mean, ouch. Damn.
It's true.
As we say.
She didn't actually coronate herself. She was coronated. I mean, that's the only thing I'll correct him on. Obama did that, Pierce.
Yeah.
Obama.
Well, the Democrats. I mean, he's saying the Democrats are going to look really dumb for allowing her to get coronated.
Right. Nancy Pelosi, her dentures may fall out. She's going to be so upset.
God, I would love to see Nancy Pelosi upset about a loss.
God, me too. It was so great to see her all like her head exploding, her dentures falling out, and like all her
eyebrows going all the way up here,
and like everything like all discombobulated on her face. And oh god, yeah, it'd be so great.
Dave Urban on CNN also not impressed at all.
Republicans would take another hour of Kamala Harris. We just press play, let her keep going. We'd pay for another hour to let her keep let her keep not answering the questions. I think Anderson's asking her, well, why haven't you done it? You've been there for 4 years. Why have you done any of this? And the word salad answer she gave to that was just mind-boggling. I mean, it's blown up the internet, her answer to that question. I think the things that are troubling for people were her responses to, Van said about what you're going to do to reduce costs when they asked her at the beginning. We're hurting economically. She said, I'm going to prosecute corporations, right? That's not going to lower costs. How are you going to make things better for me? I'm going to prosecute people. Trump bad is not a message that's going to get her elected. Trump.
Bingo. Did you see Alyssa Farah's face?
Yes, I loved it.
Me too. I just love that. God, I hate her. Cannot stand her.
Jake Tapper and Dana Bash also not impressed.
Focused a lot more on Donald Trump, I think it's fair to say, than she did on many specifics in terms of what she would do.
If her goal was to close the deal, they're not sure she did that.
When she doesn't want to answer a question, her habit is to kind of go to word salad city, and she did that on a couple of answers. One was on Israel. Anderson asked a direct question, would you be stronger on Israel than Trump? And there was a 7-minute answer, but none of it related to the question he was asking.
Look.
Jake Tapper is just pissed because he's like, can we bring back the story about Palmer's pecker? Because I missed that.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's his favorite, right?
Just want to bring back the Palmer Pecker panel. That's all I care about this week. I don't want to talk about Kamala. It's uncomfortable for me.
There was one person who's trying to give Kamala some grace, and that is Van Jones, who has himself a new little tagline. And Alyssa, you can hear how excited she is about it. He worked on this. You can tell he really worked on this.
That's cute.
And I will say it's a little clever. Here's what he's saying.
Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are not taking the same exam.
Yeah.
And I think it bothers people. They're not taking the same exam. He gets to be lawless. She has to be flawless. That's what's unfair. That's what's unfair. That's what's unfair tonight. That's what's unfair tonight.
Are you effing kidding me with this?
Look, she has policies. She may not articulate them perfectly every time. She may not put the stories in the right places, but she's fighting for actual ideas that will help real people. And he's talking about people's penises. And so they are not taking the same exam. And that's pissing people off. It's pissing me off.
They are just obsessed with Palmer's penis, you guys. What is it with these guys? These guys cannot stop thinking about Palmer's junk. They can't. I mean, it's just weird. It's really
their
weird.
Whole world.
We all know. Like, why are you gay? Why?
All are you gay?
Van Jones, Jake Tapper, why are you gay? Yeah. Okay. Like, she doesn't have to be. Are you kidding me? She gets no ridicule, no like hyper focus from our media at all. It's all on Trump. Are you kidding me with this garbage? God, he is so bad. These people are so upside down. They live in an upside down world.
I know.
He was shot in the head. I can't.
You guys, we have so much other stuff that we wanted to
be long. It's gonna be
no, I
long?
can't.
You can't.
I have an appointment, so I can't even do it. So we're gonna have it's gonna be a long show tomorrow. Tomorrow's
Okay.
gonna be buckle in because tomorrow could be the longest show of
in
all
the history of long
time.
shows. Yeah.
But today I have an appointment, so it can't be a long show. So I think what we'll do is we'll dole out some more thank yous, and then we'll play a few talks, and then we got to skedaddle for today.
Okay. All right.
But I promise tomorrow it's going to be glorious because we have so many good clips to get to.
It's going to be a long. Well, I can't go too long tomorrow because I have an appointment in Fort Worth.
You do?
Remember?
How long can you go tomorrow?
I can go like 2 hours and 15 minutes tomorrow.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. That's good. I think that's good.
2 hours and 50 minutes. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. All right. That'll be good. All right. Audrey Krauss said nonstop lying last night on CNN. I should have stayed watching The Golden Bachelorette. It would have been better for my blood pressure. For sure it would have. Tammy Foucault said, good morning, chicks. We are living in the most stressful, upside down times, and you two always manage to find ways to bring truth, integrity, and humor. Love and appreciate you so much.
That's so sweet.
So
Thank
nice.
you.
Casa Donata said the only reason why the border slowed is because they're flying them over. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great point.
That's a great point.
Mm-hmm. Puzzled 80 said, hey jerks, hey. On yesterday's show, you had the new sponsor XXXY. Megyn Kelly played one of their ads the other day that was addressed to Nike and supporting our girls. It was everything. So good. Glad to see them as your sponsor. I'm definitely shopping there with your code and hope some of my jerks on the right family will too. Pray for our girls. Pray for our community. Balls.
That's actually, that ad is on our Instagram page. You can find it there. Mhm.
Perfect. And actually, I think wasn't it like blocked on Twitter? And I think
Yeah, it
YouTube
was
or
blocked in a lot
something?
of different places. And man, it got
That's
a lot of
stupid.
response on our Instagram. Like people love that ad.
It's a
Mhm.
good one. Alan Grattan says shenanigans are happening. I was notified to claim my mail-in ballot for Minnesota, and I don't live in Minnesota. Oh my God.
Unreal.
You need to report that. Like, figure out the channels to report that crap because we can't just be like, oh, this happened and
Yeah,
not
agreed.
do something. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So
Yep.
take that up all the channels. Christina Hopkins says, I'm a new fan. Love the show. You jerks crack me up. This show now starts my day. Thanks.
Thank
Chicks.
you. Nice to
Love
have you here.
that. Yes. Teresa Raimundo says, I'm confused. I thought walls were bad. Why did President Obama build a wall? There's a path to citizenship. There are laws. Follow the laws. That's what she's
Mhm.
always saying.
Right. Mhm.
Raputin's Rabbit says, thank you again for being two awesome chicks. Sending love from another right chick. Michigan for Trump. Yeah, get your friends to vote in Michigan for sure. Gen X Granny says, I'll help build the wall, make them do it legally. I'm so sick of nothing for us, born in the USA, everything for illegals, SNAP, hotels, tax-free. My own grandson gets no help for college. Right?
Right.
That's the more people
Oh
got
my
mad at
God.
that.
Exactly.
Teresa says, I'm going to Venn diagram it. She does love a good Venn diagram.
Mhm.
Joe Scott says, for Mock especially, I think it was Scott A.F. Jennings, AF for Always on Fire, who said last night that Kamala should just bring tongs and croutons everywhere she goes from now on.
Oh my God. That is hysterical. That's great.
Alexander says the brain rot is real with Kamala Harris always. Yep.
Mhm.
Kim Donaldson says at the Georgia for Trump last night, one of the speakers said that Kamala has gone to the Pentagon authorizing the military to intervene with members of the public who have political dissent. It might have been RFK Jr. Yes, it was. And he's talking about this new authorization that allows the military to go after political violence or people. That's some scary shit. And they're trying to call Trump a freaking dictator. Give me a break.
I know, right?
Queen Bee says, I just X'd the link to your show to Mr. Cuban, you jerks. Happy Thursday.
Love it. Love it.
Joe Scott said Kamala can close the deal by not opening her mouth. And even then, nah, she is the gift that keeps on giving pause.
Mhm.
Connie Cannell says, you jerks need to coordinate your appointments.
I know. Well, I actually have one too today, but it's like an hour after hers.
Love you both, she says. Thank you so much, everybody. And for MyPillow Talks today, we have a treat from the woman, Kelly, I forget her name, but you'll see her little @ symbol on this TikTok. The lady that always is, she's a Gen Xer and she's always doing videos about Gen Xers.
Yes.
She did one about Halloween costumes that is so perfect.
When people dress up as someone from the 80s for Halloween, why do they dress like this? Absolutely nobody looked like that in the 80s, especially on Halloween. We looked like this. Every single member of Gen X can smell this photo. It's like a vinyl, like plasticky paint smell.
Like
Our
serial
parents took
killers.
about 3 or 4 pictures of us a year, and Halloween was always one of them. You knew before you went out trick-or-treating, you had to line up with your cousins in front of the fireplace in your highly flammable costume with your mom, chain-smoking Virginia Slims, like, say trick-or-treat. The eye holes in those masks never lined up with your actual eyes. We would push our tongue through the slit in the mask. It would cut our tongue, but then we'd keep doing it again because we were like eaten up with like OCD and ADD and nobody cared. The great thing about our garbage bag costumes were that they weren't the actual like costume of the person. They just had a photo of who we were on the front. And these costumes sounded exactly how you think they would sound.
Yeah, that's so great.
You could hear like a herd of us coming up the driveway, just in our garbage bag. We worked so hard for our candy. We walked so far. If your mask was still working, you were sweating under it, like with beads of sweat, and it's just sliding around everywhere. We could hold our body weight in candy. If you were a house that gave out this orange and black candy, just know everyone hated you. I still hate you. I can hold a grudge.
Oh my God.
Like, look at these photos. We are terrifying. No wonder people tried to poison
little
us.
serial killers.
Did you hear the end? He said, no wonder people tried to poison us.
I know. I remember the poisoning. You remember? We still would go. And pillowcases. I'd hold 2 pillowcases and I would lug that shit around. Like, like it was my job. I was
And then
like,
you
I'm
put it
getting all the
on a
candy.
wagon to make sure that you could carry a lot.
Oh my God, those are the days. Those
Oh
were
my
the
God.
days.
Such good
God.
times.
And you like pull the mask up just to like breathe from house to like in between houses. You're like, oh God, I gotta breathe. And you put it back down just to go to the house. Trick or treat.
And then you would pull the string on the back of the elastic that held the mask on of your friends and like sling it back onto their head.
It's a rite of passage, but they will never know the struggles of Gen X.
Because they keep dressing up as like the sexy version of a million professions.
This is who it is now. Everything is a slutty something. It's like, what are you going as this year? I'm going as a slutty dog.
Right.
What? I'm a slutty mouse. What? There's this. What? Why are you making my slutty?
And they'll be like in a bikini on a mouse costume, and mice are already naked. Like, you can't make them sluttier.
And why are you making it slutty and you're writing it? What are you doing? Like, why is everything slutty now? Why?
Gen Xers are the best, man.
I know, right?
I mean,
We're
I
the
know about
last.
it,
We're the last good generation, and everybody else can suck it. I don't care.
This next one, cutest father fitness program. This child is so precious. I want to eat her face with a spoon.
I got one of these things. I'm home alone with Laguna, so we're bored. This is another round of fitness with fathers.
Look at her.
is
Oh
what
my
we're
God, I
calling
love
it now.
her.
First exercise is the tricep extension. Just want to throw them behind the back. This one actually works really well. This isn't really a joke.
She's laughing. I love it.
All right, next exercise is the overhead press. Make sure you got a good grip. I'll be grabbing rib to rib. If you can tickle, then it works. Little sketchy. This one's a little sketchy.
Oh my God, I love it.
Depending on your baby. My baby's a little crazy. I get like 3 reps in
Oh my God.
before she wants to jump off.
Oh my God. It's
All right, last exercise. Call it around the worlds. Just gonna start on your back, and then you're just gonna rotate. You know what I mean? And Laguna likes to just get a little rowdy.
Oh my God, I love her.
You just gotta keep them relatively close to the shoulders.
It's
And we
the
just go straight
greatest.
into squats. You know what I'm saying?
The
Straight
basics.
into squats. Yes. Yep. This is Pride.
Oh my God, I love her.
And this is, her mother wonders, you know, why she takes 2-hour naps with me, 3-hour naps with me. This is what we do all day.
Oh,
Thanks for coming to Fitness with Fathers.
Her face. I just want to eat her face off. She's so cute.
Oh God, just the cute.
You know, it's funny. That didn't make me nervous at all. I wasn't nervous about that at all. I felt like he had complete control of that. I was fine.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't nervous. Not
Again,
at all.
I think it's the Gen X thing. I'm totally not scared at all about that.
This next one has absolutely just made my head explode. So the caption reads, I was today years old when I found out that garbage bags come inside out in the box, install them like this, and then they're right side up. I have been doing this wrong my entire life.
What?
Behold.
I hate that audio.
I know. But seriously, I don't
Like,
do it that way. And that is
I don't
way
either.
better.
I don't do it that way either. Do you guys do it that way?
That clearly is the best way.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that just made my head explode.
Yeah, I was today years old when I learned how to do it that way. Okay.
Also, whenever Rockstar and Casper the dog are in a collab, it is my favorite thing ever.
Tell me if this song tight, all right? Why haven't you got me up on a chew?
The lyrics could use a little work. Not bad. Not bad for a first track.
All right, so something like do do do, my fluffy gone, and it's lost outdoors, my fluffy.
Oh, you really went for it on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
It takes kind of an emotional turn.
Where?
On the bridge.
Like fluffy. Ooh,
excellent.
I fluff you.
Strong lyric.
Ooh, fluffy, fluffy.
We've been waiting for that collab. That was good.
I mean, I just love it when those two get together. It's the best thing.
Good collab.
Okay, and then lastly we have the cutest, ittiest, bittiest 6-month-old baby kangaroo getting in some of her very first hops.
This is little Bella, and Bella's about 6.5 months old, and it's about time for her first little hops.
Oh
I'm
my
going to put her on the ground.
Oh my God.
And then she can follow me. Come on, Bella.
Oh my gosh, she's look at her go. How old did he say? 6 weeks?
6 months. 6 months.
A little bit of exercise and then back to bed.
So
Into
they
a
don't
nice,
hop until they're 6
cozy
months
little
old?
couch.
I guess not.
I didn't know that.
Look at her.
I should get a kangaroo, Steve. I should.
Totally. Or a wallaby, next best thing. Plus, wallabies don't get like all jacked and muscular.
Yeah, I'm
They're
a little
sweet
afraid
and
of.
soft.
I'm a little afraid of the RFK effect on the jacked up kangaroos.
You want to be a little more careful with the
Yeah, they'll
kangas.
kick your butt, man. They
Yeah.
will pick a fight with you.
One last super sticker from Sticky Frog who said, why are you jerks leaving or have left Indiana? I moved from Florida to Nashville, Indiana because of you two.
Well, I left gosh, I was looking at memories in Facebook the other day, and I left. Gosh, it was almost it'll be 3.5 years ago, right?
Wow. Yeah, I guess that's right.
God, it's been that long. I can't believe it's been that long. But yeah, I mean, I left, and then now it's her turn to leave, and
We
it was
just
good.
are tired of winter and
winter.
Yeah, and we just want a place that is beautiful.
Right.
And
I mean, Indiana was beautiful. Indiana was absolutely beautiful. I loved it there, but it was cold. Like 8 months of the year, you've got
gray
and cold. Right. The people were fantastic. I did my last winter. I can't. And I love the weather here and I love the people, and Texas just freaking rocks. So, and she loves South Carolina. So she's got the beach. I've got the ranch. And so we can visit each other. Right.
Together, we've got the breach.
Right. We've got the branch. That's what we've got.
Branch.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. All right, you guys bring it in. Mock's got to go to an appointment.
I got to go to my appointment.
She's got to go, you guys.
I think we might be getting an offer on our house. Please keep all of your fingers and
Say all the
toes and everything crossed.
prayers.
And
Say all the
of
prayers.
the prayers to St. Joe because I need them today. I need to sell this house.
Yes.
So,
Say all the
crossing
prayers. And you guys, we will talk to you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.